All right, today we're diving into a really incredible story. It's about a man named Dr. Kaeng Weerapong Prasongchean. And his life, wow, it connects two worlds that you'd think are just universes apart. A simple rural market in Thailand and a high-tech science lab. And the whole thing, his entire journey, really boils down to one simple but incredibly powerful idea. Now, this quote right here, for Dr. Kaeng, this isn't just some nice, inspirational saying you'd see on a poster. Nope. This is the code he has literally lived by his entire life. It's the engine. You know, the thing that took him from the rice fields all the way to the cutting edge of modern science. So let's get into how he did it. So who exactly is this stem cell son of Isan? Well, today we know him as Dr. Kaeng. He's a really well-known stem cell expert, a university professor. But to really get who the scientist is, you have to go all the way back to the beginning, to a young boy who started out with, well, pretty much nothing.
I mean, the distance he traveled is it's almost hard to wrap your head around. Think about it. He went from being the son of poor rice farmers in Isan, that's in Thailand's rural northeast, to earning a PhD from University College London, from selling vegetables at a little bamboo stall to becoming a top stem cell expert. This wasn't just, a career change. It was like leaping across entire universes.
And this is where it all started. His childhood, it wasn't really defined by what you and I might think of, classrooms and playgrounds. Nah, it was all about the relentless, kind of chaotic energy of the local market.
Okay, just take a second and let this daily schedule sink in. His day starts at 3 a.m., 3 in the morning, waking up to buy vegetables. By 5 a.m., he's already setting up the family's stall, then off to a full day of school. But wait, it's not over. At 4 p.m., he's back at the market, still in his school uniform, helping his mom. And this wasn't just a one-time thing. This was his normal, everyday life. And you know what? The family stall was just the beginning. He did literally anything and everything to help his family get by. Washing dishes at food stalls, working as a server, hauling stuff for other vendors, and all the while, he was trying to cram in studying whenever he got even a spare moment. Yeah, he learned really early on that if they were going to survive, it was going to be because of his own hard work. So, what was driving all of this sacrifice? Well, it was his mother's dream. She said, "I want my son to study because I never had the chance." For her, education wasn't just a nice to have, it was the only way out of the tough life she'd always known. And so her dream, that became his mission. But, a dream is one thing, but making it happen is another story entirely. They had no money for college, for higher education. So his whole future, his path forward, was going to come down to a bit of luck, and him being ready to grab that opportunity with both hands the second it appeared. And that really was the question for him. Poverty wasn't just a problem, it was a giant wall. So you can imagine, when he got accepted into the super prestigious Chulalongkorn University, his mom was thrilled, of course, but that joy was immediately followed by pure anxiety. How on earth could they afford it? How could a boy from a family of vegetable sellers in Isan ever pay for a top university? His big break didn't come from some grand, complicated plan. It came from a few small but really decisive actions. It all started when one of his teachers saw this tiny little ad in a newspaper for a scholarship. That was it. That was his one shot. So Dr. Kaeng, he just poured everything he had into writing 2 essays, and he finished them in a single night. Sent the application off the very next morning just to show how eager he was. And it worked. He won. And the impact that news had on his family, it was just immense. His mother's words, they really say it all. It was like dying and being born again. I mean, just imagine that feeling. For her, this was so much more than tuition money. This was the start of a whole new future. It was proof that every single sacrifice she had ever made was worth it. So that one scholarship, it didn't just open a door for him. It completely blew the walls down. It put him on a path that would take him way, way beyond his little village and eventually even beyond the borders of his own country. So after crushing it at university, he earned his next big shot, the super prestigious Royal Thai Government Scholarship. And this time, his destination was London. He was going to get his PhD in the field that he'd become fascinated with, stem cell research. But you gotta understand, this incredible success came with a really heavy emotional cost.
His mother was so proud, of course, but she was also terrified. She actually worried if something happened to us, would we ever see her face again? It's a heartbreaking reminder of the huge sacrifice this journey took, not just from him, but from the family he had to leave behind.
But through it all, Dr. Kaeng never, ever forgot where he came from. See, his goal wasn't just to escape his past. It was to come back home with the knowledge, with the power, to change the future for other people just like him. So he came back, and he became a professor at the exact same university he once worried he couldn't afford. How amazing is that? Today, he's a huge advocate for STEM education all over Thailand, showing kids that science isn't just for the rich. And get this, he actually helps students from poor backgrounds win the very same scholarship that changed his own life. He's connecting old local wisdom with modern science. And on the weekends, he's out there, personally delivering medicine and food to the elderly in his hometown. He's really come full circle, hasn't he? His life's work is now all about helping the next generation find their own way out. He's making sure that other talented, hard-working kids from poor backgrounds get the same shot that he fought so hard to get for himself. So, when you look at Dr. Kaeng's incredible story, what's the big takeaway? Well, it all circles back to that one simple, powerful idea we talked about at the very beginning. He says that whenever people ask him how he did it all, how he got from that market stall to a cutting-edge lab, his answer is always the same. He says his life proves one fundamental thing: that hard work is the answer. In Thai, it's Kwam Kayan Kukamdop. It wasn't about luck. It wasn't about being a genius. It was about the relentless, day in, day out, unwavering commitment to just doing the work. Waking up at 3 a.m., writing that essay overnight, never ever giving up. That was his answer. So, Dr. Kaeng found his answer in diligence, in pure hard work. And his story, it does more than just inspire us, right? It really challenges us. It makes us ask, what's our answer? What's the one core principle that keeps you going no matter what gets in your way? What is your answer?